Well, hello. I guess I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on the TV140. I know it's been a while. Maybe somebody's wondering if it ever worked. The question is, or the answer is to that question is, no, it didn't work. So we hauled it out there to go mow, and basically that engine, where I had it mounted, it was, anyways, when I mounted it, I had to mount it where it was at because of the drive line. The oil pan hit the drive line. So anyways, the drive line coming off the back of the engine went downhill through the carrier bearing, and then when it went through the carrier bearing, it had to go back uphill to catch the other carrier bearing, the center drive line. So anyways, which is fine, I guess, but not really. So when you turn this thing into a turn, the thing would hammer so bad when the engine was wound up that you couldn't hardly hear it. I mean, it was bad. It was real bad. Sounded like things were coming unglued out back here. So anyways, I thought I fixed the problem, but I was driving it around here after I got it running at an idle. So, and at an idle, you'd never hear it. So anyways, we took it out there, went to go to work with it, and we probably would have ran it, but we had another problem. So you would run it for a little bit, but the hotter the oil, hydraulic oil would get, the hydraulic pump on this tractor would shut down. You'd lose all hydraulics, and it would do it when you'd put it in a turn, and that drive line started knocking. So, but this engine had nothing to do with that hydraulic pump, because this hydraulic pump was doing this before this engine blew up in this tractor. But the time it would do it when the tractor was wound out as high as it would go. That's when the pump would shut down. So to get it back, you'd idle the engine back down, it'd come back to life, and you'd go back to work, which was no big deal because you don't normally run this thing wide open. So it's been close, we're going on probably what, 10 months since this tractor was hauled out to that out there to go mow. So I brought it back. I knew that this was a problem right here, so I brought it back. This motor is now 3/4 of an inch lower. The drive line is straight across now, not going downhill, not going uphill. I had to take the oil pan up, bend the oil pickup tube up, and then I bent the pan in the middle up to clear the drive line, which there ain't much room in there for a give. So doing all this, I thought that we could straighten out the drive line, the pump would start working again. There was something goofy. I knew there was something goofy somewhere. The pump shouldn't have been doing that, but it was doing it anyways. So anyways, we put it back. I got it all back together, put it in a turn. Lo and behold, the knock is still there. So anyways, I fought and fought and fought and fought and fought trying to get the knock out of this thing when you put it in a turn. Kept looking at the drive line, and that drive line, center drive line with that engine runner, was sitting there going, bouncing up and down. I knew it was bouncing up and down. So I got kind of mad at it, so I took the drive line, the one that they made, that drive line, and the drive line that goes in underneath, out of it, took it to the drive line shop, told them check it. Something's got to be bent somewhere. They couldn't find nothing bent. Come back, put it back in. I kept looking at it and I go, something's wrong. And I don't know what I did, but I grabbed hold of that this thing here, this part right here, and I grabbed it and I slid that thing sideways with it bolted in. So actually what was happening is the tang on these right here that centers these yokes in this was bad. So basically when it would spin, it would slide the yoke sideways. You know, you'd have play side to side and you put it in a turn and it knew it was there. Fix that problem and got that quit knocking on me. Thought that was going to fix my hydraulic problem, but it didn't fix my hydraulic problem. So then I turned, after I get that straightened out, I turned to the hydraulic pump and I started testing pressures and testing this and testing that. And basically you put this engine, you got it up to about 18 or 1700 RPMs. You started using a function, it'd kick the pump out. Shut the pump clear down. Lose all pressure. No standby pressure, no nothing. So I said the heck with it. I couldn't determine where it was actually at. So I started pulling the pump out. And I pulled the filter housing. The filter housing on this thing is bolted right to the pump. So anyways, but I don't have those pieces anymore. But anyways, the filter housing had rubber, this rubber, chunks of this filter, not this filter, but a filter, but it was these pieces of rubber in it, which was on the bypass side of the filter. So what it was doing was it was in this hole. Well, this hole right here is on the bypass side, so when the oil filter gets plugged, the oil this is where the oil goes. It pushes, there's a bypass valve that's threaded into the pump, which is this piece right here. It's threaded into the pump, and it is basically bypasses the oil, which is fine, but when it bypasses the oil, it bypasses the pump. So this is what the feed line, this is where all the oil goes to feed these pumps. And if this don't get any oil in it, it basically screws the pump up. So the only thing I could think what it was doing was it was building enough pressure and that rubber would get in there and push in on that bypass valve, bypass the oil from the pump. And by doing that, that's where I lost all my oil pressure on the hydraulics. So it basically comes down to what happened is that was what the problem was with the hydraulics, but it destroyed the pump in the process, because this pump is it's scored up pretty bad in there, according to the hydraulic shop. So they were looking for parts and everything to fix this thing, and they finally found the parts. And they said, well, we found the parts, but it's going to be 4 to 6 months to get them. because they have to come out of Germany. I told them, put the pump back together. I know where a remand is, and so basically I'm shipping this pump, which is off that tractor, to the place that we bought the remand pump, which is those guys right there. And hopefully that fixes my problem and this tractor can go back to work, because it has been a long process and I'm about tired of working on this tractor. Granted, it's been fun trying to do what I'm doing with it, but sometimes you just want things done and working like they're supposed to. So hopefully, so we're gonna see if I can get this pump put in there today. I gotta go get some O-rings, this O-ring and this O-ring, because they didn't come with them. So I need to get this O-ring and this O-ring, and we are gonna put that pump back in that tractor, button it back up, and hopefully everything goes back together and she starts working like it's supposed to. So I will get back to you guys here shortly while I'm putting this pump in there. Alright, well, maybe now we can get this thing put in here. Went and got O-rings, came back, wrong O-rings, had to turn around and go back. So, it's pretty late in the day now. Maybe we can at least get it up in there and bolt it in before it gets dark, which ain't gonna be much longer. So anyways, we'll get this set up right here, and I'm gonna see if I can lift that thing up there and stick it in there. I see I got a little bit of dirt right there I need to clean out, so do that first and see if I can get it up there. Jesus Christ, the thing is not light. It's gonna be a fun one. Ow, that didn't feel good. All right, 1, 2, 3 lift. Not. Get this hose out of my way. One, 2, 3 lift. Lift. Oh man, that fucker. That thing not light. Hope you eat. Gotta eat your Wheaties this morning, which I didn't. Oh shit. That don't help matters. Being in the way. Alright. We're gonna get it. Somehow. But we'll get it. Well, it's closer, but it's not nowhere close in there. Oh. It's kind of interesting with one person here. That. Come on. Oh, yes. Oh, we got her in the ship. We got her. Yeah. Well, it's up there, boys. Now the question is, what'd you do with the bolts? Is that one of them? Looks like maybe one of them. Possibly here. Rotate that a little bit. I don't know what it is, I can't see it. Oh, it needs to be rotated some more. Well, you can start anytime now. I think that's the right bolt. Has to be. Doesn't it? Does anybody know? I don't know. Oh, I think I got it started. Hey, don't you worry, we got it started. I know you guys were worried about me getting it started, but I got it started. Does that count? That don't look good. Oh well, we'll just ignore that one. Won't look at that. Of course, if that thing goes out, then you don't get no gears. Alright, I guess I'll go back up there and see if I can find the one for the up there. And then we can tighten that pump up. I don't know what I did with it though, I guess. You know what? Instead of going out the back, I think I'm going to go out the back. Does that make sense? Get it? Because it's a bi-directional. Back could be back, but back could be forward. Alright, what'd you do with the bolts? Got a bunch of fittings and stuff up here. I don't see no bolt. You know where my bolt went? Seem to be missing a bolt. Well, I'm gonna look for a bolt. I'll be right back. Well, you guys are probably looking at it all this time. Seems to me I must have left it right there. Look at that, right there. Somebody left it right there because they took it off and they set it right up there because that would be right where it, above where it was at, you know. Seems like that's the most logical place to put it. And then you reach in here and you try to get this started. Probably if you take your gloves off, you know, you might be able to feel better. Kind of get the feel for it, you know. Oh, I think we got her started, you know. I'm not even seeing, I just, you guys are looking at it. I can't see nothing. I'm looking at the side of the cab. But, you know, at least you guys can see what I'm doing. question is, what size was that? I don't remember. But anyways, so there's that. I'm gonna I'll get a wrench. I'm gonna say it might be an 18 millimeter, but it could be wrong. Oh, hi. How's it going? Yeah, we're just underneath here, you know, fixing this thing. Trying to get done with her. This goes right here, somehow. Right in here. I think if you put this in first, it's a lot easier to get to tightening it up. Pretty sure that should be flat. I don't know if I can tighten that up. With the filter housing on or not. Trying to debate if I want to put that filter housing on now, because then I can probably get in here like this and tighten it up without putting the suction line on. And I think we're gonna have to put that on, because if we don't, we're not gonna get it on. All right, I'll be right back. You guys hold down the fort. We're not gonna solve a damn thing. That kind of needs to go in that pump right there. And if that don't go in there, then all the oil bypasses the oil filter. And if that bypasses the oil filter, it bypasses the pump. And when it bypasses the pump, it burns the pump up. And then I had this, see this fancy special tool that I built to put this on and take it off. Of course, it's not as high tech as New Holland's, but it works. Of course, it might work a lot better if I could get on it with the oh, yeah, that's not working so good there. Maybe if you go a little bigger, you might be able to get it. Oh, shoot. Well, that's not working for me. Maybe I should have put that on before I stuck it up in here. Well, it'd help if this was turned the other way and not the way it is. So let's loosen that up, rotate that, and then tighten that back down and see what that does. That might work. Now you got to make sure this is at all you can make it, and when it slips like that, you're done. Ow. All right, that's installed. Seem to be having some fuzz come out there. All right, now the fun part. Let's get this filter housing up in there with that O-ring without losing the O-ring out of it or pinching the O-ring where it's not supposed to be. Oh, what'd you do with all the bolts? Oh yeah, that's right. They're right there. So let's put this up here. Did I mention that it's very cold out here? Be nice, you know, most people would stick this in a shop, but you know, you could only dream to have a shop. A nice, warm, toasty shop. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Instead of laying out here on the ground in the snow, working on this thing. But hey, can't have it all. Alright, that seems like it's staying, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm going to get it up there. I should put those on there while I got it there, though. And I didn't bring those with me, because those are like right there ready to be hooked up, and I can hook those up real quick with this thing out of there. So, you know, I think I'm going to hook those hoses up before I put this up in there, because it's like right there, you know. You can just twist it right on. So I need a couple O-rings, and we can do that. So let's set the filter housing right over here, like so, inside the dirt. You know, get a little dirt mixed in with it. It makes things flow in nicely. Really get that pump a good break in, you know. Anyways, let me go get some filter O-rings. I did bring some split flander O-rings for this piece right here, the suction one. But those are face seal. And face seal is a different O-ring. So, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Back. Me. Alright. Let's get this O-ring off here. If I can get it out. Probably should have brought a pick. Or a knife. I guess I got a knife in my pocket. I could probably get it out with that. But now that I'm laying under here, you know, it's just that much harder to get out. Look at there. I got it. Were you worried? Okay, let's lose that so we can't figure out which one it is. Well, why did you put that thing 4 miles away? Okay. Let's see. That one? That ain't it. Let me guess, these don't go small enough. 4. That's a 4. That ain't no 4. Is that a 4? Let me see. That looks bigger than 4, 6. I don't know. That don't look nowhere close. Alright. Well, it's the next day. I didn't get it back together last night. So hopefully today we'll get her back running. So I got pretty much the bottom filter suction line hooked up, filter housing on. Got a couple more lines underneath to put on, and then the rest is up here. So let's get to putting it back together. Well, we're back together and we're running. I don't see any oil leaks. I have standby pressure, which is a little that's here nor there, as long as it's running. We're not leaking oil everywhere. So I guess now I'll put the cab down, let this thing warm up. I get the cab bolted down and see if it's gonna work. Well, the hydraulic pump solved that problem. So that was our problem since we've owned this thing from day one, is the pump. So that's fixed. Had the alternator go out on me, so I had to replace it. The only other problem I have, so when I was under there, I must have broke the wire to the speedometer. So I could fix it, so I fixed it real quick, soldered the wire back on. The only other thing I have a code in here, and it keeps, according to the book, it says it's something to do with the 3-point module. To test it, you have to disconnect the 3-point module. If it still comes on, then check the connector, make sure there's no broken wires, stuff like that. But I don't know if that's actually the problem or not, because when we had this thing, when I put it together the first time, I didn't have no code, and then when I put it back together the second time, I had this code. So I don't know. But anyways, I think I'm just gonna run it. You push the reset button inside there on the dash and the beeping goes away. So I'm gonna run it the way she is. Hopefully we get this mowing contract, and I guess hopefully you'll see it out there mowing this time, instead of like last time where I held it out there and then turn around and hold it back because it didn't work. So hopefully this time it works. So that'll be it for this one for right now. I still need to build the cowling, go around that air cleaner, but that's just cosmetic stuff that doesn't make it run any better, just makes it look better. So hopefully this coming swap in this thing makes this thing a lot better tractor. So anyways, I have a new project we're starting on right now to do the mowing contract out there if we get it. I'm just going to start in on it. We were going to do this last year, but I didn't get it done. Didn't even start on it because it was it was just going to take too much time, and I didn't have that much time to do this, so we just ran what we had. So to give you a glimpse of it, it's going to be this thing here. So stay tuned, and we're going to be starting to work on this one. So hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you on the next one.